Why the planet Earth experience? Aita, channeling her higher self. April of 2020. You are in the eye of the storm, our dear ones, bright souls, dear Lightworkers. Yes, the eye of the storm. The great apocalypse is in process. Revelation is at hand. The dark forces, those that we have called the powers that be, have brought this great pause to the usual busyness of the world. The earth and all of humanity are at a standstill. It is a time for revelation, for all to be revealed. What needs revealing? You are all getting inklings of the truth, for the truth will out now, and all those who are at a high enough frequency, all of those who have eyes to see and ears to hear, are coming into the knowing of the truth. For God so loved the world that he sent his only begotten Son, the Christ consciousness, to earth, to experience dark and light, yin and yang, that in so doing, in feeling the pain of duality, in feeling the pain of separation, she might truly, deeply from his soul know that he prefers love. Love is what we are. Love is consciousness. It imbues us, feeds us, surrounds us, is us. Our very souls are love incarnate. Love is the infrastructure that informs the universe and all of form. Our souls, our true selves, are our portals to love and the spirit realm. What is this revelation or revealing that is occurring? It is on two levels. First and foremost, we human beings are in the process of bringing our own demons to the light. These so-called demons are our false concepts, our irrational beliefs through which we measure and determine our life behavior. These beliefs are what we are hypnotized, programmed into as children. Our childish thoughts and ideas make up our beliefs, and they are inherited from the history of our forebears. Our parents have been indoctrinated by their parents, and so it goes on from generation to generation. The Bible says, "The sins of the fathers shall be visited on the children." And so it is. The planet Earth human experience has been so designed by God, consciousness, all that is, that we might grow in love and light. It is to teach us that love is all there is, and all we desire. We have contracted to live through fear here on planet Earth. We have contracted to experience separation, duality, aloneness, and desperate loneliness, in order to rise to greater heights of blissful love. This Earth adventure was intricately designed so that we would each experience the lessons that we needed to rise up from the depths of pain and disillusionment that we fell into in our life here. There are those of us that came here as empaths, loving, kind, naturally considerate human beings who appreciated their brethren and had a deep desire to serve them. Then there were those of us that came in to play the dark forces, what we call the powers that be. They were a necessary evil to create the negative events and circumstances that would turn us to the light. Of necessity, these dark forces were the controllers, the managers of our earthly separation adventure. They were service to self. They denigrated us, programmed us with their false words and fake news. In the beginning was the Word. The Word is all-powerful as our controller, as the blueprint of our life. The dark forces used words to teach us untruths. They taught us that man was inhumane, not to be trusted. They taught us that we were to be fearful of each other and every event that occurred. They taught us that we were helpless, sinful, unworthy creatures who deserved to go to hell. Through the ages, when some of us managed to break through to the truth of our divinity and our truly loving nature, they took us down with threats, blackmail, torture, intimidation, and death. The dark forces created our reality. They created the deception-perception, the illusion or delusion that we have lived under, and that so many humans still believe is the natural way of human life. We have learnt not to question that status quo. We are being taught that it is politically incorrect to criticize anything that has been enforced by our dark ones. We have been taught to not question the constraining, confining, painful rules and regulations enforced upon us. So we take it as natural that we must have a bureaucratic government with layers upon layers of petty officials wielding their power against us, controlling us, defining our reality. They set up false flag events so that we would believe that the restrictions imposed upon us were for our own safety. Aspirin was poisoned so that all bottles and jars had to have safety caps. One individual's shoes contained a bomb when he boarded an aircraft. As a consequence, we all had the bothersome inconvenience of taking off our shoes when we board a plane. Poisons were put into our drinking water and food so that we would be dumbed down and unable to question the contamination of our food supply. The care of our own health, both mental and physical, was taken from us and put into the hands of the experts, that is, the doctors and therapists. We were not taught to look at positive psychology. Instead, we were taught to examine what was wrong with us. So we concentrated on our negative emotions and distressing illnesses. The controllers, the dark forces, knew that mankind lived according to the law of mind and the law of attraction. The law of mind specifies that which we think becomes our reality. Our thoughts project out into this hologram matrix we live in, and we see what we think outpicturing in our world. So when we concentrate on disease, we get disease. If instead we were to concentrate on our health and be in gratitude for it, we would get health. So too with psychology. We have been taught to go to a therapist and repeat week after week the depressing and arduously difficult experiences we perceive ourselves to have had in our relationships with our spouses, our children, our friends, relatives, and in the workplace. The same story, week after week, becomes self-perpetuating, and the negative occurrences become more and more active in our lives. So, by the law of attraction, we pull more and more of these negative events towards us. We become depressed and physically weak and unwell. Our minds are powerful manufacturers of our reality. Positive thoughts lead to positive outcomes. Negative thoughts lead to negative outcomes in all areas. The dark forces that came to earth to entrain us into this negative thinking know how to control us, manipulate us, put us into fear. The world is so designed that they need our fear to survive. As light and love feeds us, so dark fear thoughts feed them. That is how our world is designed. That is how the yin and the yang, the dark and the light, the evil and the good is playing out on this earth adventure. Now, dear hearts, dear souls, we are in the eye of the storm. Revelation is at hand. The world has been paused so that we might have the calm to see, to realize, to know the truth of our loving essence, the truth of how we have been indoctrinated into darkness. The eye of the storm that we are in is a peaceful time, scary for many, for they perceive a threat of death, even though they do not see great death and destruction around them. They have been told by authority figures, and so they do not question, that the threat of death is imminent. Now, despite all the attempts of the dark forces to keep it at bay, revelation is occurring, drip by drip. The manipulations and maneuverings, the dark deeds and devious lies of the dark forces are coming to the light. This is what was meant by the revelation spoken of in past times. This planet Earth adventure is coming to an end. Eons of lifetimes of fearful, painful existence are coming to an end. All will be revealed shortly. A large portion of humanity is coming into the light as the light is being shone on the darkness both of their own personal thinking system and the darkness of the control of the dark forces. This is a great and wonderful time indeed. You, our dear Lightworkers, came to Earth to help mankind. You are of a higher frequency. You coded yourselves to live through this earthly adventure and experience great darkness that you might better understand the human plight. Now you have awakened to the truth of your divinity and that of your brethren. You have seen the big picture of the planet Earth experience, designed with fear incorporated as an integral force to teach love. Now, as the truth comes to the light, you are ready to help your brethren through the shock and pain of seeing how they have been taught false concepts, blame and shame. We are all powerful, equal, divine beings, drops of water in the ocean of God consciousness. This planet Earth is just a hologram, a computer training simulator experience to teach us greater love and compassion, to raise us to greater heights of bliss and contentment, camaraderie and communion with each other. Great times are ahead, dear friends. A whole new and blessed, loving, creative, joyful adventure is ahead of us, and we greet it with anticipation and enthusiasm. We know what we are, divinity itself in human form. We know how we serve, by the amount of light and love we emanate into the world. Life is good and getting better. We have experienced darkness to move more deeply into the light. That was Aita channeling her higher self. We are blessed beings indeed.